Hello and welcome to another beautiful Wednesday where we're going to be playing trap chess again. Let me do that, sharpen the camera. I don't know why, let's see, when I wiggle back and forth it doesn't sharpen, but if I do that, it works. See, everyone has a really good view of my hand now. So thank you for joining. We're going to be playing some trap chess again. Trap chess is a game just like chess, except when you enter in a code, you can join and play with landmines in the board. A landmine is a piece that removes chess pieces. So if you're joining us, you can go to trapchess.com, download the app for Android or iPhone, enter the code that I put in the chat or the code on the screen. You can see it's TQDPHS. And if you enter that, you'll join the game as black and you'll get to play the black pieces versus me. You can choose as many landmines as you want. Once again, what we'll do is I'll start with one landmine and my opponents can take 16. And when I lose a game, I'll increase to 2 landmines. Landmines remove chess pieces. There are 16 landmines, one for every piece on the board, plus an extra one for the queen because everyone wants an extra shot at taking out their opponent's queen. So if you choose 16, you'll get 8 pawns, 2 knights, 2 bishops, 2 rooks, and 2 queens hidden on your half of the board. You're immune to your own traps. So if you hit a landmine, it won't affect you unless you hit a landmine on your opponent's side. However, for me, I only have 1. Let's see where mine is. Okay, I know where mine is. Let's see, boom, boom. So you also know where it is. So mine is actually for the queen. So if a queen lands on the square my landmine is hidden, the queen will be removed. That was a 1 out of 8 chance to get a queen one. So right now, all I'm doing is waiting for someone to join the game. When you join, we'll be able to play and I'll be able to talk about trap chess in general and answer any questions you have. Trap chess itself is also coming out with a board game. The board game gives you an additional type of trap other than landmines called chess piece traps. And chess piece traps are ones that get hidden behind the chess pieces or equipped to the chess pieces. So it's an extra way to lose a piece. Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining. Yeah, go for it. Thanks for joining, Brian. Appreciate you coming in there. Looks like someone joined. I don't know if it's you or not, but it's your turn. Feel free to make a move. If you notice too, on the board, the timer was down to like 7 hours for black because I generated the code about 4 hours ago. That was to show that when someone joins, it resets their timer back. So when you send someone a play code, they have a full 12 hours to join the game to reset the clock back to 12 hours and start. Because people are busy, they don't see things right away. And if you send one to someone in the morning and they're working and they work a 12-hour shift, they might catch it at the end. So cool. Yeah, thanks for joining up. All right, here we go. So 16 landmines for my opponent, 1 for me. We'll start with just going for that center again. We'll put the bishop on b2. b2 will target. Yeah, thanks for playing. I hope you had fun last week. Do you like the game? Let me see. Does it? I have to do an emoji to do a heart? Is that how this works now? Man, I thought it was the future I was living in, where you can just type in, you know, less than sign 3 and you get a heart, but I guess it's not the future. I don't know why my camera keeps unfocusing on me. All right, I'll sit very, very still. I used to watch poker online and there was a guy they called the Statue. And when he played, it was just, he sat super still the whole time and it worked for him. Yeah, appreciate it. I worked really hard on this, so I'm happy that you like it. I also really like it. Someone asked me, they were like, what's your favorite game? Like, and I mean, ultimately, I really like trap chess, but I made it, so I'm biased. But there are some other games I really like. Like, I'm a fan of Catan. Catan is pretty cool. I just can't get enough. I also like poker. Poker's a lot of fun. Stratego is a good game. Battleship is fun. Connect 4 is a good game. Chess in general is just a really good game. There's a lot of good games out there. Actually, when I had the idea for trap chess, there we go. Focus it in. You can't get enough, right? Yeah, I hear you. It's really fun. So I used to play a lot of chess. I learned when I was like 11 or 12. maybe. I think I was in 7th grade, 6th grade. I think it was 7th. So however old you are at 7th grade, what is 9th grade is like 12, 13, right? Or is it, let me see. Let's go backwards. I know senior year, you're 17, 18, 16, 17, 15, 16, 14, 15. So I guess, yeah, 13. So like 11, 12 I was when I learned how to play. And I played a lot and I got good at it for a little bit. I won the chess tournament at my high school every year. And the school had over 3,000 kids. So I was like a big fish in a little pond, I guess. There was a teacher there. He was really good at chess. And in the beginning, he beat me quite a bit. And then I started to like learn and watch. And you know, when you face someone better, it forces you to get better and you want to get better and you want to get stronger. So then after a while, we started tying quite a bit. And then I started winning against him. And then after I left high school, I was teaching it for a while afterwards into my early 20s. But then once I stopped teaching it, I kind of fell off and stopped playing. So I don't know my rating. I'm unrated. But I can see things and I can point them out because I was a chess teacher for a few years. And yeah, but chess is a really good game. Do you have any favorite games that you like, Brian? Okay. So that move right there from c7 to c6 is basically blocking my knight from going to d5 or b5 right now. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Sometimes you play a game though, and like if I'm playing a video game, something I don't really like is gear checks. If you're familiar with gear checks, that's where the game itself hits you at a point where you can't progress any better or any further until your gear gets better, like your armor, your weapon. I was playing Diablo 3. I think it was Diablo 3. And I hit a gear check and I stopped playing. And that was the one where they started doing the real money auction house. And I was facing an opponent. I think it was 3. And he was the one, like the gluttony opponent. And I was on Inferno Act 3 or Act 4. So I'd progressed pretty far. And he had this room where you had to finish the boss before he filled the room with like gas. And then when you were in the gas, your health would just go pop, 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 boom. And then that was it. You were dead. You were gone and you lost the game. And I managed to like kite him around the room to the point where the entire room filled with gas. And then I lost and I couldn't get him below 25% health. And I was using a wand. I was a wizard. And that game has randomly generated stats for each item. And my wand only had one good stat for me, and the others were like strength and, you know, things that wizards don't need. So I looked and I was like, okay, I feel like I'm getting gear checked right now. My gear is too weak to actually finish this guy. So let me look at what I need to do to, like, you know, move forward. And it was over $100 for a new wand. That was a huge upgrade for me. I think it was like $180 in the real money auction house. And I was like, whoa. And then I just quit playing that game because I said, I'm not willing to spend that kind of money on like one item, you know, and then just to beat one boss and progress through the game. Yeah. Yeah, the grind is real. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, having someone that looks through and figures out the pain points for you ahead of time helps a lot. Yeah, I wouldn't pay either. Well, some games, like, I'll put like $1 here or there. I don't mind if it's a game I play a lot. Sometimes you'll be like, okay, I'll buy the like season pass or whatever they have. But when you're paying like that much money for like one item, it's crazy because you're like, okay, I'll get this. And what's going to happen next? An expansion and this is going to be obsolete? Or I'm going to get gear checked again? Like, nah. If I find a gear check in a game, it's pretty much an immediate, it's a sign to immediately stop playing for me. Oh yeah, Diablo is a great series. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, Diablo 2 was good. Diablo 3 was good. I think they're on 4 right now. I haven't played it, but I have a friend who voice acts in it, and he told me we have to play together, and I'm really looking forward to it. Bigger the game. There's better ways to pay for games and stuff. Bigger the game, less I want to buy extra stuff from them. That's true. That's true. What do you mean by bigger the game? Like if it's like, because cartridges are like this big, so if it comes into cartridge like that big, that's you don't want to pay. I'm just messing. Yeah, my friend actually, I think he's the voice of the Warlock in the game now, so that's pretty cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've watched people play Fortnite, but I've never played Fortnite myself. But it's a really cool concept on like the shrinking map. I think that's cool. Yeah, he's in the new expansion. He's the voice actor for the Warlock. So I was like, I'll play with you, and he's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna be the Warlock. And I'm like, who am I gonna be? He's like, you can also be the Warlock. And I was like, what? Because I think you can play cooperative, right? In that game, I'm pretty sure. So, okay. So right now I see D5 is attacking my bishop on C4. So I have to save my bishop. Like, hands down, gotta do something with moving the bishop. So the squares I'm looking at, that makes sense. I think D3 makes sense. But if I do that, you could go pawn to E4 and fork my knight and my bishop. So that's no good. So we're just going to retreat back to E2. E2 looks a lot safer. It's away from your pawns, so I'll be okay there. Yeah, when I played before, I think I was a wizard, and then I tried the Witch Doctor in Diablo 3. The Witch Doctor was cool too. My one friend got like a build with the Witch Doctor where he tanked like a boss. He just sat there and he's like, the more damage I do, the more I heal. So he just stacked damage and healing and I think HP. And he just stood in one spot and beat the boss without having to run from anything because he was healing so fast. Okay, let's see. You're pushing your pawns on me a lot, but I've moved my other pieces quite a bit. So if I start breaking through your pawn structure, I'll have an advantage. So I think I'm going to start doing that. Yeah, okay. We'll go here. That'll also give my knight on F3 a place to run to go to D2 if something happens or I need to run if you push the pawn to E4. Yeah, I haven't really looked at the art direction or the art for it, but I've been paying attention. I usually like follow up and watch whatever is coming out, but I'm still playing on my PS4. I have a PS5, and I told myself I'll only open this after I beat all my PS4 games, and it's the PS5 God of War Ragnarok edition, I think, or the Jotnar edition they called it. So I never opened it because I still have like a bunch of PS4 games I haven't played and a bunch of Switch games, but maybe one day. And take your time on your move. There's a lot to think about on this move. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. People will bash game developers quite often, and I sit there and I think like people threw their time and their livelihood at this, and even if it's not your cup of tea, like, you know, other people might like it, and bashing their hard work just seems a little mean. So yeah, don't need to force an upgrade. That's true. Yeah, I think right now I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom on my Switch. I just beat a game called Nelson Tether's Puzzle Agent 2, which was fun. It's a point and click with like puzzles. What else am I playing right now? I'm playing Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. It's an older game. I wanted to play it. It's over 10 years old, and I wanted to play it when it came out. I think there's a second one too. My local library had it, so I just rented it. I was like, okay, cool. Okay, so putting the queen there. Let's see. I'm thinking of, so you have two protectors, right? Two pieces protecting the E5 pawn right now, your queen and your other pawn. So I think me putting, and then I have my bishop on B2 doing an X-ray attack on the E5 pawn. So the moment I move my knight, I'll have an extra attacker. So I'm going to just try to blast through there and hope you don't have a pawn landmine, and you didn't. Yeah, libraries are great. Like, I go in there, I do a jigsaw puzzle, I check out a game. It's fantastic. I don't know why more people don't use their local library. It's pretty empty when I go, and I can't believe how empty it is. There's so many things. Like, and they do a lot for children too. Like, they have an entire kids section, and then they have a teenager section. So, yeah. So I think that's a good move that I made there. Now you do have b4 as a possibility to pin my knight, but that's easy for me to deal with by retreating my other knight or putting my queen in the way. Oh, thanks. Now you can take that pawn back with your pawn. And I have my knight that can take back, but I mean, that won't do a whole lot. But the moment I move my knight off of c3, then I have enough attackers to basically take that square on e5 again. So that's my plan. So we'll do that. We'll put the knight there, and that'll open up that attack. Now, I know you have the possibility of going like b7 to b5, where I would retreat the knight again, which is fine for me. If I have to keep retreating it, I will. My knights like to dance. So if you make them dance, all you're doing is just making their calves stronger. And a knight with like really strong calves is a knight you don't want to mess with. So I would be very careful with strengthening their legs. You're going for it? Cool. We haven't had any traps activate yet, but I think I only crossed to your side once with the e5 take. So I know your e5 spot isn't a pawn landmine. Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you how to play trap chess. So there's a website. If you go to trapchess.com, you can actually get next game if you want. Trapchess.com. There's an option to download for Android or iPhone. And the app is the easiest way to explain it. It's going to basically ask you to generate a play code or enter one. I'll create a play code. And on the next game, you just enter the play code, hit join, and then it'll ask you how many traps you want. So if you put in, the max is 16, so just choose 16. It'll hide them on your half of the board. And then if your opponent, me, lands on one of those traps and it matches the piece, it'll get removed. So I can scroll down here and you can actually see we have something called a landmine legend. It's color coded, and the colors are based on a color palette, so everyone can tell the difference between each color. So the blue ones take out queens, the green take out rooks, the yellow take out bishops, the orange take out knights, and the black and white ones take out pawns, but they're specific to taking out your opponent's pieces. Does that answer your question, Ajay? Okay, let's see. So now that e5 pawn is, I have two attackers. I have the f3 knight. Yeah, cool. So if you want, after this game is over, you can join next game, and we'll try it out. You'll also get to see if I start doing attacking to my opponent's side, I might start losing some pieces. I only have one trap. So right now, until I lose, I'm going to stick at one trap. So that e5 pawn is completely, I have two attackers on it. So I'm just going to go for it. And this will be a fork. So now I'm attacking the queen on d6, but I'm also attacking the pawn on g7. And that pawn on g7 is a direct link to that rook, which would force my opponent to move their rook, and the only square they could go to is h7 if I take that pawn. But there is a chance I could hit a bishop landmine and lose my bishop. So there's always a risk with each one of my moves when I cross to the other side. Now, if you're interested in trap chess, there is also see, I always do that backwards. There's a board game coming out on Kickstarter, and it comes with this divider. So the board game gives you a new type of trap called chess piece traps that you can equip to your chess pieces. So the landmines are cool because they sit on the board and they stay wherever you put them. But the chess piece traps are traps that move with your pieces because they're equipped. So every time your opponent takes a piece, they run the risk of losing a piece as well. And then the other side is, see, I did it again, the divider. So the divider is an add-on that lets you basically lay traps during the game instead of setting up beforehand. Okay, so that's a check I have to deal with. We will retreat and attack the queen, because that doesn't change the fact that I can still attack the g7 pawn. Ba-ba-bum. I'm getting a little addicted to the music. Oh, where are you from? Yeah, it's only in the US right now. Where are you from? Sorry about that. Ah, okay. Yeah, I appreciate you checking it out. You can totally hang out and watch, and I'll eventually have it released in India, but I'm just one guy doing it, so it'll take some time. Good positioning on protecting that g7 pawn, by the way, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop attacking it. I'll eventually release it in India, so if you subscribe, I'll do updates when it releases to other countries as well. But totally, you can hang out with us as long as you want and check out what makes it cool. I'll eventually hit a trap, I know it. I think the last game I played, I hit 4 traps, and then the game before that I only hit 1, but I pretty much hit a trap almost every game. Are you a big fan of chess? How long have you been playing chess? So the h3 move is to attack the queen. Cool. And then you're coming in and attacking me back. Oh, nice. Nice. That's awesome. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply additional pressure on the queen. I know that opens up my pawn on h3, but now that has a rook and a bishop both attacking the g7 square, which helps a lot because I can just kind of force my way through. I can go bishop there. They have to move the rook. I can move the bishop out, and then the knight is unprotected. Nice. 1.5 years is a good amount of time to really understand the game. Do you have a rating? Let's see. Yeah, I've been playing chess myself. Well, I didn't play for a while, but I learned when I was like 11 or 12, and I played for like 10 years. Yep. Cool. Here comes my plan. We're going to bring the queen in. And I'm going to have my queen target that g7 pawn as well, because I'm putting a lot of pressure on that pawn. And now my opponent might just use their rook and move it to protect it. But right now their queen is on the side of the board, so I can use that to my advantage as well. My goal is to go straight for the king, actually. Which is, you know, the goal of chess, so... I'm going to try to do the thing people want to do in chess. I'm going to go for the king. I'm setting up a lot of attackers. That's an interesting move. But I don't think you have enough protection to stop this rook. Okay, and I got lucky. There could have been a rook landmine there and I could have lost my rook, but looks like I'm pretty safe. All right. Yeah. It's hard to be tricky. You know where your traps are. Use your traps to your advantage. If you see, I'm gonna, like, I have the opportunity to put a piece on a square that you have a trap on, and like, you know I'll lose that piece. Use that to your advantage to trick me. When I'm playing trap chess, I play differently than regular chess because I know when I cross to the other side, I could lose a piece. So I generally try to do a lot of attacking from far away before I move in. It makes it a little more difficult for me to play, but generally it's more fun for me because I enjoy the challenge, you know? That's a really great rating though. That means you're a really great player. It's not easy to get to that high of a rating, so congratulations on that. You should be very proud. All right, we're gonna keep going with the attacks. Thankfully, I did not lose my queen. That would have been terrible. I feel like because I'm out of practice, if I were to play you, Ajay, I would totally, I would get a lot better. Yeah, that's around 2000 is it's a really solid rating. Do you study openings too, or do you just kind of play and learn from that? I don't have a rating. No, I unfortunately I don't have a rating. Okay. Boom. So yeah, I don't have a rating. I used to play a lot on Yahoo Chess, which is a really old statement. When I played on Yahoo Chess, I was around like, I think I was like 13 years old. I was playing a lot, and my rating was, I think my peak rating was just shy of 2000, but I don't know how that translates to ELO today. But then I started teaching it instead, and when you're teaching, it's like a different mindset, because you're not playing to win, you're playing to set up things to teach, so it's completely different. All right. Yeah, I don't. So the cool part about trap chess is it kind of takes the opening theory out of it. You don't really have to worry about openings as much. So when you're playing, the first time a trap activates, you get a brand new board position, which, you know, because it's a trap removing the piece instead of a piece taking a piece. So you actually get new board positions. So all that like memorization you do on openings kind of goes out the window. Okay, so I'll talk about my thought process here right now. I'm thinking rook takes on e7, check. The knight takes back, but by moving the rook, it opens up the x-ray attack for my queen on e5 to go for the rook in the corner on h8. And then I have my bishop I can bring in. I have my knight on b6. So I have key pieces I can bring in to go for the checkmate. So even though by doing this, I'll actually be up a bishop by doing it this way. So I'm waiting. Where are your traps, Jim's brother? Where are they? I haven't hit one yet. Yeah, it depends, you know. Like some people learn from playing, some people learn from studying. A lot of players say, I heard one piece of advice from someone that made a lot of sense. If you're getting better from playing, keep playing. If you're not getting better from playing, try studying. If you're getting better from studying, keep studying. If you're not getting better from studying, go back to playing. And I think that's really solid advice. It's okay, Jim's brother. You got this. All right. If you have a trap there, well played. Okay. No trap for my queen. I'm kind of worried that I'm going to hit one. But here I'm okay because I have the fork on the king and the queen coming next. So, yeah, did you see how I kind of kept that diagonal open? And I kept my queen with my bishop lined up. By using the rook originally first, I was able to set up an additional trap. So here comes a fork. No knight. Okay. No knight landmine. When the game is over, I'll be able to see where all of the landmines were. And then I'll see how I didn't hit anything. In Trap Chess 2, there's also a move log. And the move log, when you hit a trap, there's additional notation that'll show you the trap you hit and what was removed. So if I hit like a queen landmine, it'll say QLM. All right, let's... Okay, we're going to take out the queen just because we can, because I could move my queen and lose it. So I want to make sure I can get rid of the queen while I'm available to do so. You know, I will. I am going to launch it in India. So I originally started with the US specifically because it's where I live. But I will be launching in India eventually. I have to get a few more things done first. I'm starting. I want to release the board game. I do that. It's mirrored, so I always do that. I want to release the board game first. I'm going to do a crowdfunding campaign for that. Let's see. Where's checkmate? There. Yeah. We'll push you to my side. If I push you to my side, I don't have to worry about the traps. Yeah, I'm happy that you want to see it too and you want to play. It makes me happy because I worked really hard on this. So thank you for your kind words and asking that it be released in India. Let's see. So, good game. So let's see where your traps were. Oh, I was close. You had a queen landmine on G6. So if I hit that one on G6, good game. So G6 was dangerous for my queen. I narrowly avoided it. I had my rook at one point on G7, and you had a rook landmine on F8, so that would have been bad if I hit that. Your bishop once, if I opted to take your pawn on H5, I would have hit a landmine there. All right, cool. I'll set up another game. I'll put the code in the chat. NWV. Cool, and join. When did you join, by the way, Ajay? Did you I'll go back to 1. That's where mine is. Cool. And whoever wants to join and play can play. You just got to enter the code. When you started playing, was there like a catalyst that made you play? I watched a documentary on chess about like chess.com and Hans Niemann and Magnus Carlsen, and they were saying that chess.com said their number of users like blew up during COVID when Queen's Gambit came out. There were a bunch of like catalyst things in the chess world that happened, and their users just like skyrocketed. Did you join around one of those times? Like, did you see Queen's Gambit and go, I'm going to play? Or was it like COVID? Or because you've been playing for a year and a half, so probably not those. Was there another thing that made you start playing? Good game. There we go. I'll do the same opening move I did before. I like to just mix it up. I don't want to do the same opening every time. A lot of people do E2 to E4. That's the most the most common opening move. I think D2 to D4 is the second most common. I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. I'm gonna take that diagonal and you can't stop me. Am I playing you again, Jim's brother? Okay. All right, cool. I'm going to go for the center again. I feel like you're going to get a lot better at chess by playing all the time, like playing on the stream with me. And then when you get better, it'll push me to get better because I'm not at the level I used to be at all. Okay, so the pawn is protected by the queen on D8. So, all right, we'll take it. See if there's a trap. Ah, there it is. Pawn landmine. Pawn landmine. Good play. Now your queen is opened up on the entire D file. That's so cool. Cool. Nice. So, I don't know if you saw that, but that was a trap activating. That was the first one we've had in 2 games. So when a trap activates, it updates the move log. So the move log would now say something like E takes D5 PLM for pawn landmine. Also, the timer bar that shows your number of landmines ticks down because now there's only 15 left on the board. So there are a couple things that happen, and that landmine shows at 100% opacity for now until the next move is made. So yeah, good move. I don't know if I can show the move log. Yeah, no, there's not enough. Ah, nice. You got the bug. You got the chess bug. The chess bug is cool. All right, I'm going to try to protect my center a little bit with my knight. I like that chess bug, you know. I had it too. I completely understand where all you want to do is play, and then you're playing like more than one game at the same time. I see what you're doing there. You're looking at doing G4, but that'll open up my rook, so that's okay for me. But you also gave me direct access to your rook, so we're going to go ahead and take your rook. The rook is worth 5 points, so it's something you definitely want to protect because it's great for later in the game. Moving those pawns too quickly let me bring my bishop in directly to that rook. So, are you better than your friend now at playing? Have you surpassed them? Okay. I'm going to get some more pieces in the middle. My goal is to control the center of the board. All pieces are strongest in the center. You put a bishop in the corner, it can only go one direction. You put it in the center, it can go 4 directions. So it's a big difference. Knight in the corner, 2 spots. Knight in the middle, 8 spots. So way different. Rook in the corner, 2 directions. Rook on the side, 3 directions. Rook in the middle, 4 directions. Bring out my knight. I got both my knights coming. You're doing a lot with those pawns. It's a little suspicious here. All right. Well, now that your rook is gone, I'm going to apply pressure on that knight on g8. Target that bad boy. And a lot of your pawns have moved up far, so that makes it so that it's going to be difficult for them to defend you. So I'm going to try to get past them and go to your back line. Okay. I'm going to take the pawn in the middle. I have 2 attackers on it. I have my bishop, and which will take it, and then my knight on f3. So that means if you take the bishop back, I'll be up a pawn after the exchanges. So that's pretty good. I also have the ability to go e2 with my queen, which will open up, set up an X-ray attack. So the moment I move my piece off of e5, your king will be in check. So I can move my piece somewhere, have it attack something that may be unguarded, and then you have to save your king for my my queen, and then I get that piece for free. That's the hope. That's why I went bishop to e5, to set that up for later. Also, you were attacking it. Your mean queen on h6 was like bullying my bishop. My bishop does not like bullies, Jim's brother. Yeah, you definitely have the chess bug. I get that, Ajay. It's a good bug to have. Out of, okay. I'll take with my pawn. Now you don't take it with the h5 pawn. If you do, your queen will be taken, because my rook will open up. It opens up an X-ray attack for my rook. So it's best to avoid taking it with that. So, and if I have to, I'll just retreat my knight, but that'll take the protection off of my bishop. So then you'll be able to get the bishop, but then I can pin it with my queen, so it's okay. And then once it's pinned, you'll have the ability to defend it with things, but I think what I'm going to do is I will pin your knight, so your knight can't take my bishop. I think that's the move I want to do. My bishop has the ability to go for that pawn on c7 as well. It's undefended. So that's another option I have. Your knight is protected by your queen, the f6 knight. So I could take it with my bishop. It would be an even trade. But now I don't have to worry if you threaten my knight. I don't have to worry about my knight not protecting my bishop, because you don't have anything that can attack it because of the pin. So that's helpful. I'm thinking of, on my next move, bishop takes knight on f6, then push my pawn from g4 to g5, because it's protected by my knight on f3, which will threaten your queen and make you move your queen. I think that's a good move. And then if you move your queen away from like the h file, I'll be able to at any point move my rook up from h1 to h5 and take that pawn and keep the pressure on. So I think that's a good plan. Cool. I love that that he or she came into the chat and was like, "Hey, can you release it in my country?" That makes me really happy, because like I've worked really hard on this, and seeing that people want it makes me so happy. All right, we're gonna go through with that plan that I said. Take the knight, push the pawn. That could be a trap. If I hit a trap, I'll lose my pawn. Oh, and today's shirt is brought to you by cats. This is a tabby cat in the Starry Night form. I'm just thinking right now. There's a few possibilities, but a lot of your side you left unprotected. So you got really aggressive on the right-hand side early on, which opened up that rook, and then kind of left to that right side, or your left, the FGH side, to get attacked. Okay. Cool. Push the queen away. Cool. Okay. Let's see. Ah, you made a mistake. It's okay. It happens. It happens. Take your time. We have a lot of time today. Excuse me. Oh, an interesting thing happened this week. So I have two monitors where I work, like in this room. And one of my monitors, I went to turn it on, and the power button fell off. And I looked, and it's like a little piece of plastic that connects it, and that piece of plastic that connects it just snapped off. So then I had to turn my monitor sideways and get like a pen in there to turn it on. And now I can't turn it off. It's a 32-inch monitor. So turning it sideways itself was a pain, given the amount of space I have. I've never seen that where like it just breaks like that. Have you? Okay, we'll go for that. Check. Still thinking. All right, we'll go for another check. Yeah, the goal now is to go for the king. Check. Oh, queen landmine. Nice play. Nice play. Did not see that coming. Nice play. That was awesome. Boom. Yeah, see? You're using the traps to your advantage now. Good move. Good move. That was awesome. There goes my queen. Good move. That was awesome. I mean, let's see. You got, yeah, you're a little behind here. It's not looking good, but if I just get unlucky and hit a bunch of landmines, then maybe. It's a flesh wound. Yeah. On one leg with no arms left. It's true. But it's just a flesh wound. Let's see. So how can I go for checkmate? I'm not too worried about you taking my knight on c6, because if you take it, that's a check, and then I get your rook in the corner. Because it's a fork, my bishop will attack your king and your rook at the same time. So I've just been kind of leaving my knight there. I haven't moved my king yet, so I could castle. That would get my rook out. Yeah, I would probably castle queenside. Excuse me. I've been doing a lot of like sports this week, so my body is just a little more tired. I've been trying to get into good shape because round is not my favorite shape. Yeah, I think my next move is to castle. Castle, bring the rook over to e1. Yeah. See what you do first, though. Yeah, I joined a volleyball league and a dodgeball league. So both of them are a lot of fun. I'm kind of like new to volleyball. So yesterday was volleyball, and it's so weird that it just won't focus properly. Oh, maybe it's because of this. That might fix it. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, that's a lot better. Until it isn't. Let's see. No, it does better now. So I joined this this volleyball league, and I don't really play volleyball. I haven't played it in the past, but castle. But I can jump, and I've been practicing jumping. Just, you know, I just jump, and you get better at it the more you do it, like anything. And I can jump pretty high now, and I had like 4 really good spikes yesterday where I jumped, and then I actively looked before I hit it, where like there looked to be an opening, and I got it in that opening 4 times and scored each time. Before that, whenever I jumped, I was the guy just like tipping it over the blockers and hoping it worked, but that doesn't work anymore because they put protection behind the blockers and they're like ready for that. So you got to just go for it. There's one guy on my team. He doesn't look where he's spiking at all. He just jumps and hits it as hard as he can every single time. And I'm not that type of player. I'm not confident enough to jump and just smack it like he is. But it works. I'd say there's like different positions in volleyball I learned, and I'd say he's our ace. The ace is the person you give it to score the most points. I'm more like the libero, because I dive a lot for the ball, and I keep it from hitting the ground a good amount. They generally, I've noticed I generally don't get like serves hit at me because they don't, I usually get it. But all right, now we're going to save our knight because that really cool plan I had where if you took the knight and I would fork you, that doesn't exist anymore now that you moved your king. Yeah, and I went hiking on Sunday and I played volleyball on Sunday. No, Monday. Monday I went hiking and I played volleyball, and then I played volleyball again yesterday. And then tomorrow is dodgeball. So there's a lot of people in my league that like join the dodgeball league and then they leave. And I've heard things like my arm just can't take it. But it's like one of those things you have to like build up to, you know? You can't just start wailing it as hard as you can. You got to like toss it a few times, get your arm warmed up, you know, and then like when I'm playing it, if I didn't warm up in the beginning, I'll start throwing them, but like kind of near people, but not like at them, so they can't catch it while I get my arm back into shape. So yeah, you got to like practice. If you practice, you can crush it. It's easy and it's fun. Yeah. There was one team that in the league that was made up of baseball pitchers, and they were just so good. Every one of them could just like whip it. And then there was one guy, he would throw the ball and it would just like curve straight down at your shoe, like every single time, like right at your foot. And he was so good. All right, I'm gonna put my pawn up there. Try to restrict your movement of your king. If your king comes to my side, that's better for me, but that's okay. Let's see. Okay. We're going to defend against that by moving the bishop. Yeah. Do you play any sports? Excuse me. I think eating is probably a sport, right? I would like to do that as a sport. I just love eating. Oh, what did you play? What sports did you play? Oh, did you do javelin or shot put? Okay. Nice. That's fun. I've never done it, but it sounds like it's fun. Like I see them do it and it's competitive, but I'm like, they gotta be having a blast. Okay. Yeah, I played baseball too. I didn't do soccer or football though. No. I'm trying to set up my rooks right now to go for the win. No, I'm just trying to find a way to go for checkmate, but it's difficult because I don't know where your traps are. All right, check. We'll start with that. Okay. Take out that bishop. That bishop's a problem. Okay, we're going to check and we're going to make it so our knight is unprotected because then I can go for the rook. You'll see. I have an X-ray attack set up by moving my rook from H1 to E1. So if you take the knight, I can get your rook. That's the plan. I don't know why it gets so foggy. I thought it was better, but it's not. I thought it was like the camera cap I put on it. Maybe it was seeing the cap and it was doing that, but... Okay. Go for that. By the way, thanks for playing with me. It's a lot of fun playing with you. Okay. Alright, we'll take it out so it's not a problem anymore. You still have pawns you can move, so... I think next thing is just put my rook from f7 onto c7, then move my pawn up. Oh, my bishop won't be protected, so... Yeah, I gotta retreat the bishop, move the rook over, and then check with the pawn, and that's it. Okay, I can do that. Okay. Ah, you're still fighting. You won't let me do it. Okay. Okay. We'll just... Ah, rook landmine? Nice. Nice. You were waiting for that, weren't you? You knew. You knew. Good move. You knew it was there. Taking me out one landmine at a time. Good job. Damn, okay. Well, I have that pawn really close. Tell me now, do you have a pawn landmine on g7? Are you just waiting for that pawn to die? Yeah, that was calculated. You knew what you were doing. You knew. Absolutely calculated. You knew what you were doing. Let's see. I should just bring my king. My king is immune to traps, so if I bring my king in, your traps won't do anything. When you're playing the board game, you get to see the locations of the traps because you check the square every time. So then you just like memorize where they are and you go, okay, remind me never to put my rook there, you know? And you tell your brain that. And sometimes your brain will be like, I don't work. Huh, that was weird. It said I disconnected for a second. Did the stream cut out at all? Okay. My goal now is to just get pawns across the board and get rooks. You only have one more oh, I could get queens. You only have one more queen landmine. But if I have two rooks and you have one rook landmine, I'm safe. If I have one queen and you have one, yeah, I'm not safe necessarily. Stay away. Leave my rook alone. Don't you dare. It's my buddy. I need that rook. Okay. It's my rook. You can't have it. Okay. Cool. Safe. You know what that means. It's coming. It's coming now. I'm going for checkmate. No more of your landmine games and... Go rook. I don't even need a queen. I want the rook. It's safer. Boom. Here we come. And now you can't come back, thankfully. You have to stay on my side. Cool, we'll take it. No! No! Another one? That was right next to the other one. Oh my gosh. Alright. At least I know that last rook is safe. You're out of rook landmines. I put it there on b8 because my next move was to g6 for checkmate. Oh, man. I guess you're experiencing right now firsthand what makes trap chess fun. Like, you know, some people are like, it's just chess. But then they play, they're like, oh. It's like that moment where you go, I'm hooked. You know, that's what happened to me. After I made it and I played and the first one happened, I was like, yeah, I like this. All right, well, there. Your king isn't going anywhere anymore. It's stuck. There. Perfect. King can't go anywhere. It's stuck on the A file. I'm not letting it off the A file. All right, here we go. And good game. Oh, man. You made that hard. I lost so many pieces. I lost 4 pieces to traps. Good game. Good game. Your other queen landmine was D6. Yeah, D6. So, oh, that was crazy. Yeah, I just had the one knight landmine on E3. You see it? So, that's the only spot I had a landmine. Good game. You want to play again? I'll throw another code in the chat. Boom. And I'll go down to 1 trap again. Cool. And we'll do a different opening move. Oh, boy. That was a lot. Yeah, sounds good. I'm probably going to call it around 7 anyway. I have a new puppy, so I want to make sure I'm taking care of my puppy on a good schedule. Got to make sure I keep up with her training too. She's a little I guess the word is nippy. Like, she likes to nip. So she's at that age right now, and her teeth have started falling out to make room for her grown-up teeth. So one day she like ate one of her teeth. I'm doing crate training because you can't leave her out. Like, if you leave her out, she's going to destroy things, and the crate gives her like a nice area where she can just sleep, and then my cat won't bully her. But like, yeah, she was in her crate, and I just heard like a crunch, and I look over, and I'm like, oh, I know what happened. She ate her tooth. Yeah, and then I found like 2 teeth that she left out after that. So yeah, she just left them out. You know, I'm like, is this how the tooth fairy works in puppy world? Do you eat the tooth, and then the tooth fairy goes, all right, that's what I needed. Here you go. My bit rate is higher than normal. Okay. Interesting. All right, let's see where my landmine is. Cool, got it. Pow. Oh, man. You know, there was a point of me, like a point where I thought I was never going to checkmate you last game. I was like, I'm just going to keep losing pieces, and that's it. I didn't think my pawn was going to get across. I thought G7 was a pawn landmine, and it was just going to get taken. I had to go for a rook to be safe because I knew. I just had a feeling. Like, you know, if I have 3 rooks, I know you can't take them all with landmines, so I went for the rook over the queen. Man, I don't know why it gets so fuzzy. It's frustrating because I want it to be nice and sharp, but the video keeps getting fuzzy. Oh, was it on the G8 square? the pawn landmine? Here, we can actually look. Oops. No, I can't look. I can't look without showing everything. So, whoops. I gotta stay in the app. Is it? What could it possibly be focusing on, you know? Like, there's nothing there. I moved the microphone up too, so it doesn't catch the microphone. That's so weird. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Is it the lighting behind it, you think? See? Like, you can see right there. That's the ring light that's behind it. That shouldn't be affecting it. It might be the reflection of the ring light. Let me try to sit so it's not in the way. That might be better. Yeah, it's so unusual. It keeps like fading like that. It's a really good camera. It might be the reflection of the ring light. Yeah, because it's not doing it now. Yeah, it's fine now. I think that's what it was. Yeah, that's better. All right. Sure, I'll go for it. I knew it. I knew you did it because you had a trap there because it was unprotected. But what are you gonna do, right? I had to go for it. Because if I don't go for it, I'll never know. But at least I know now that the E5 square is safe. So I don't have to worry about the E5 square. I can put anything there and I'll be okay. Because your trap is gone. Look at that. Just like that, we have a brand new board position, right? A position that never existed before in the game of chess. All right. I'll bring out my knight. It's pinnable, but... Are you taunting me by putting your knight on that E5 square? Looks like you're taunting me. You're like, look, my knight is dancing on the remains of your pawn. So, Yeah, exactly. Hey, check it out. I'm where your piece died. Ha ha ha. I played a game like a few weeks ago with someone where I went for checkmate with my queen, and I hit a queen landmine landing on the square that would have been checkmate. And I was like, good game. I guess not. So, I don't know. It's fun when stuff like that happens. Okay. We'll target that knight. Since I know that square is safe, I want to put all my pieces on that square. Just stack them and then have them all attack. It's like making it's like assembling the Megazord in Power Rangers or something. I see. Okay, okay. Let's do that. We'll just protect it. I'll get my pawns going on that side. Okay. I think... I think I'll get my bishop into the action like that. Yeah, that'll work. Pow. Okay. Yeah. You're making me think more now after that last game. I have a plan of attack. So if you see, I'm bringing out a lot of my other pieces early because it increases the the moves I have. It makes it so that I have a lot more potential. Okay. I'll do that. Now, it's not the best move, but it's a move. Yeah, I think it gets foggy the moment I let it hit that light in the back. But then I cover it and it sharpens. I think that's what it is. So I'll have to like move that cabinet back there so it doesn't reflect. Or I'll have to turn the light a little. I'll figure it out. I don't know what to do next. I'll respond to your moves. Okay, let's apply pressure on that queen. Put some pressure on your queen, see where you move her, and then decide my next move. Okay. All right, apply some pressure on that knight. No landmine, no landmine. Good. Yeah, I have a plan. Because I think your knight is probably going to go to e5, where it dances on the carcass of my dead pawn. And then I have another push I can make. Yeah, this is shaping up nicely. Does it seem better now that I'm using my big head to block that light? Cool. Yeah, it was definitely that. Because I couldn't figure it out. It kept happening every week. Okay. Gonna go... there. And that'll... It's protected by my queen. So I'm okay doing a queen trade if I have to. If you took it then took with your bishop, you'd be up a pawn. But I'm okay with that. Because I have a backup plan. I can put my bishop f5. f5 would work. But I have to react to what you do too. Yeah, you have a bunch of moves you can make, so I'll see what you do before I make my decision on my next move. Maybe that. I gotta stop saying my moves out loud. When I say them out loud, you can prepare better. But that's okay. You're learning too, so. Okay? I was aware of that move. So we'll do this and apply pressure on your queen instead. I'm not making the best moves, but it's okay. We're learning together. You know, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. You'll be up a pawn, but that's okay. I would have been, I see, like I wasn't even thinking. If I took that and I hit a pawn landmine, that would have been bad for me. Cool. And that'll block you from going further. Good. And that opens up my rook the way I wanted it to open up. Okay. Looks good to me. How do you feel about the game so far? Feel. Yeah, it's a lot of thinking, right? Take your time. We have a lot of time. I'll probably call it either after this game or close to 7. Because of the puppy. I see some streamers go for like 12 hours and I don't think I can do that. I'm not that guy. I have too many responsibilities, you know? We're adults. But yeah. Okay, I think I have some plans. I'm starting to see stuff. Excuse me. Ah, see? I was prepared for that. Do you remember en passant? Do you see how if I click on my pawn, it has the ability to go to the G6 square? That's en passant. I can take your pawn in passing. As you do that, I can go bloop. And that was the way I planned on protecting my bishop. So, and then you can't take back with your pawn because then your rook will be taken in the corner. So that was the plan for me. And then that lets me have a shot at the d5 pawn with either my queen or my knight. Originally, you only had one defender, so your queen. But if you didn't take it with the queen, okay, I'll do this. No, knight landmine. Nice play, nice play. That's awesome. Great play. Did you know that was there? Nice. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I was thinking of going there with my queen, but then I still would have lost the knight and we would have done a queen trade. But this way, at least I still have my queen. I was looking at it because I was like, oh yeah, knight goes there, takes, and then knight threatens c7 for a fork. You know, so I thought that was a really good plan. So good play, good play. That was awesome. So let's see. I think I'm behind now. Yeah, I'm definitely behind now because of that. Okay. Well, at least now I know what squares are safe. And I opened up that rook the way I wanted to. So let's try that. Sometimes you get really great placements for landmines. It's random, but sometimes it's just like everything goes your way, you know? I've had a couple games like that where I'm like, sorry, you lost 4 pieces in 4 moves. You know, nothing I can do. It happens sometimes. Let's see, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 activations so far the entire time we've played. Is there one that was your favorite? Excuse me. I'm always tired on Wednesdays. Yeah, that last one was pretty awesome. See, that's the best part. I'm doing a new series where on Mondays I'm going to release something I call the Trap of the Week. Do you want that last one to be the Trap of the Week? I think it was a pretty good one. Yeah, like you set that up, you thought it through, you kept it open, you knew what you were doing that whole time. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'll have that one be the Trap of the Week. I set it up so it like records what we're doing now on my computer, but I need to make sure it works properly. I'm still like learning new things. There's a lot to do and a lot to figure out always, you know. Okay. I'm gonna go here. I think that's a pretty solid move. I gotta look for a hole in your defense. I don't have like a big enough hole in it yet. I see like a couple plans, but they're not good because of the placement of my king and my queen. So I gotta find another way around them. Something that works a little better. Excuse me. Be cool if it was like 3-day work weeks instead of 5-day, you know? Because by Wednesday, I'm just so tired. Also, I like been exercising a lot more than I usually do. I do like sports. Like I like playing. I don't really like enjoy watching as much, but I love playing, and I want to be able to play as long as possible. And some people I've talked to in the league that are like older than me and people that play sports have been doing it a long time, they say the number one thing is you can't stop. And I stopped, and then I went back to it, and then I'm like, oh man, why does everything hurt? You know? And why am I so tired all the time? My body's like, just go to sleep, heal. and then my body's saying that, and then meanwhile I'm teaching my dog heal, and she's like, I don't understand. Completely different heal. I've been teaching her some tricks, so she knows sit. She knows come, she knows down, she knows stay a little bit. I've been working on leave it, which is difficult for her to grasp. My other dog, my last dog, she got leave it right away. That was like, she understood immediately, and like you could put a steak in front of her and say leave it, and she wouldn't touch it. One time there was a holiday party. There was like meat and cheese at eye level. And the entire night she was eyeing it, and she just kind of left it alone. There was one point where I like walked away, and she went over and nobody told her no, and she licked a piece of cheese, and we were like, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, and then she didn't touch it the rest of the night. She just sat there and like stared at it but wouldn't go near it. And then at the end of the night, someone gave her, they were like, you've been really good here, and they gave her a big piece of ham, and it was such a big, she just gobbled it up. She was so happy, and then she promptly threw everything up because it was way too big, and she was too excited about it. But oh, I miss her. But yeah, my new dog knows sit, down, come, stay, leave it. I'm working on one called wipe. So my older dog did not like to take baths, and I took her hiking a lot, so she'd get dirty. And wipe was one I would do when like either we would walk in out of the house and her paws were muddy. I'd say wipe, and she'd go in a circle and like wipe them on the rug. Or if I put her in the tub and I said wipe, she'd go in a circle, and then the water could hit her from different angles, so I could I could give her a bath a little bit easier. So that was a really good one. So I've been working on that one. I've also started working on up. So I'll go like this, and then she'll jump up and put her paws there. I got her a couple times to like do it on her back legs, and I want to like get her to spin and do like, I want to call it like ballerina, but that's a long command. I taught her paw. She knows paw now too. What else? She knows jump. If I say jump, she'll jump, but like she gets so excited she jumps, and she doesn't plan for her landing at all. So she'll jump and then boom. And one time she jumped so high, she was like almost at eye level with me. And then she landed because she didn't think about landing, and she knocked the wind out of herself. And then the whole time she was like, whoa, I don't want to do that again. No, it's all cool. It's all good. I thought you were taking just a long time to think of your move. So, but she's shaping up to be a good dog. She's had a few accidents, but that's normal with puppies. She's only 4 months old. I've had her less than a month, but she's doing good. Yeah, it's good to have a dog again. Actually, in my videos on YouTube, I have this one thing I do where the background is my old dog wearing glasses. It's actually It's these glasses. So they're gunner glasses. And I put them on her and she just like put her head on my lap. And I took a picture and then I like cropped it out and I put it on the background of some like images when I'm showing like comparisons. And that way she'll live forever in video. Yeah, take your time. There's a lot going on the board. I have a plan, but it's not the best plan. I need to do a couple things to prepare for my plan. Oh, that's an interesting move. I feel like you want me to take the bishop on d7. Instead, I'm gonna do a check. Okay. We'll go back and protect the knight. Good move. I don't want to fall for any more traps. There's too many of them. All right. We're going to try to apply pressure on that rook. I don't want you using that rook and opening up that X-ray attack with that bishop. So I'm going to apply pressure on that rook because the rook is blocked by that bishop. So it can only go to the side. Okay, and then we'll go back to where we were. I just don't want that rook on the d8 square. It's okay if it's protecting your pawn, that's fine. I feel like I have good defense on my king right now. You know, I got like your bishop can't pin the knight because my rook is there. I feel pretty good about where my king is. I just got to look for a way to like break through. I'm pretty sure you have a queen landmine on d7, so. All right, we'll put the knight on a safer location. And we'll target the bishop too. Okay, and I got that rook set up. I kind of like opening up that diagonal with my knight, moving it off the f3 square. I kind of like that because then my queen on d1 can come out on that diagonal now. Gives me some options. Interesting. Okay, we'll do that. I'm moving so quick. I've only used 5 minutes and 49 seconds for this game so far, and I'm like used to moving fast. Like I'm kind of like, okay, if he does something, I really want to do this, then I just do it. But then sometimes when you do that, you're not looking at what your opponent did and the repercussions of your moves, and it can put you in a bad situation if you're not paying attention. So I'm gonna have to slow down on some future moves. But you're doing really well. You tricked me with that knight. What else have I lost? I lost the pawn and the knight. Yeah, pawn and the knight. So you're doing a great job. Yeah. Yep, yep. Oh man, I don't think you saw this. I don't think you saw that one. The rook. I was targeting the rook, and also I was lined up with my own rook to come forward for the check. If your queen wasn't there or you moved your bishop or something, I could come right in. But I was also targeting the rook on the diagonal. So now I think I'm actually ahead now after taking that rook. So I'm pretty sure d7 has a queen landmine based on how you played it. So I'm not going to put my queen on d7 ever. That's dangerous. But I do have a couple moves now. Yeah, so my next move was actually going to be c4 with my queen, and then I would take your bishop after that. That was the plan. But let's see. Everything else is pretty much protected. So let's get that pawn out of the way and threaten your bishop. I think that's a pretty good plan. I also now have double attackers on the g8 square with my queen and my rook. Now I have to be careful if I do something like that, specifically because you have the h1 move with your queen, and then I would lose my rook in the corner. So I'll probably end up moving my rook first. But I have the target right now on that bishop. So if I can get that bishop out of there, I can do something like castling, which would be nice. Because I have a pretty good like force field set there, and if I castle, I don't have to worry about anything. I can't castle right now. You're not allowed to jump over a square where you would be in check to castle. So I'm not allowed to jump the d1 square, which you're attacking with your bishop right now. So by moving my queen back and forth like this, I'm able to push your bishop out of there or take it, making it easier for me. You know, my defense is pretty strong right now, and then I have, and then you have 3 pieces that haven't moved yet, and they're kind of trapped. So I can use that to my advantage to apply more pressure slowly. And no matter what, I'm not putting my queen on d7. It's not happening. I have a really bad feeling about d7 with queen landmines, especially how you tricked me with that knight. Now that I know you're using the landmines to your advantage, I'm gonna think through those moves a little bit more. I don't want to get tricked again. That was a really good play you made. Oh, interesting. You opted to protect it. All right, then. You're not going to like this move. Thinking which one's better. Check. That one's better. It opens up the X-ray attack for my queen on your queen, and your queen isn't protected. Does that make sense? Yeah, because now the best scenario would be if you have a queen landmine on c6 and you take my knight, you're up a knight when I take you back with my queen. If you don't, you're up a knight. But I know the e4 square is safe for me because it's my square. So I'll be able to take your queen when you save your king. So this wouldn't have been possible if you hadn't moved your pawn from b7 to b5 because your bishop was targeting that square originally. So if I did that, you would have just taken the knight with the bishop, and then your queen and your bishop are both protected by one another. So by moving the pawn there, you actually blocked your protection. So, but that, you know, that happens. It's a good learning experience. What do you think of this? Okay, and we go queen. Cool. Tactics all the way. It's actually real simple to checkmate with a queen and a knight. So since I have both of them pretty close together, I might attempt to do that next. Like to go for the win. But this was you definitely played a lot better this game than your previous games. Yeah, you made a few mistakes, but that's okay. You played really well. There's a pretty big difference now in points. So rook, rook, bishop, bishop, knight, knight. So I have a queen and a rook to your bishop, and one more pawn. So it's a pretty big difference now, but nah, we're gonna ignore that first. No, we can't. I was gonna move my rook over, but that won't work. All right, we'll do this. Check, and that will allow me to take the rook in the corner when you take my knight. Or I can do rook up. Yeah, we'll do... I don't have to take the rook yet. We'll go rook there for check. We'll go queen because it felt like you wanted me to take it with the rook. Did you want me to take it with the rook? Let's see. Oh, man. So you didn't have a queen landmine on d7. I was so convinced. Good game. Good game. I was convinced you had a queen landmine on d7, which is why I didn't kill that bishop for free earlier. Your queen landmines are on g5, g6. Not even close. Oh, you tricked me there. And then, yeah, good game. And then your rook ones are on the other side. Okay, yeah. There wasn't really a way out of that checkmate. My queen was coming in for checkmate, and you didn't have anything on that side to protect you. Really great games. I had a great time playing with you. Thanks again, Jim's brother. You rock. So, I think that's it. I'm going to call it. I'm going to go take my puppy for a walk, do some training. Thanks again for playing with me. If you're free next week, I'll be here too. So, but anyway, it was great playing with you. Oh, thanks a bunch. You'll get to meet her sometime. Thanks again. You have a good one. Bye.